next, we've got our music excite times.
I wonder how long it's going to take people to figure out that I don't actually do anything.
You sit here and you look cute.
Uh-huh.
So, for our music excite times, we're talking TBS, Taking Back Sunday. So, they announced a tour recently, and they've been doing a few festivals, but the other day they announced that our boy Fred is coming back while John takes a break to take care of his family. And I'm super excited about this news.
Yeah, it was fun. They spoofed the Coldplay Kiss Cam bit with Sean and Fred, and I thought it's pretty fun. I'm actually waiting for, if they keep doing this, it'll be nice if eventually I think it's inevitable there will be some type of super tour in probably 10 years where it's like they get all the many second singers and maybe they bring Eddie Reyes back. I don't think Mark Connor's coming back though. But
Oh, I feel like one of the reasons that Fred can now come back is because there was all that drama with Mark back when Fred was part of the band, and then obviously even 7 or so months ago when he said they weren't returning his calls, and then he created that diss track and tagged them and the manager, and just messy Mark is gone now. So I feel like that also opens up the opportunity for Fred to return and ideally create some tracks with them, not just do the tour, and ideally create them with John in the mix too.
Yeah, there was a lot of someone has to do research on because I know there's a lot about Mark Connor kind of becoming a little paranoid and stuff like that. I think someone has to do some type of not post-mortem because that's dark, but some type of inquest on what happens to drummers from emo bands 10 years in, because we kind of saw that with Bob Breyer. We're seeing that now with Mark O'Connell.
Yeah, it does seem like actually it happens a lot with drummers. Like MCR hasn't had a permanent. It's usually tour drummers, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's specific to it's specifically where does this paranoia. Bob Breyer went super into conspiracy theory and stuff like that. It's that type of thing.
Was Tim Lambis a drummer?
Tim Lambis is a singer.
And okay.
Did he go MAGA? I thought he just went murder.
Yeah, I thought. Oh, sorry, I thought you said mad. Not
no, he went, no. Yeah, Bob Breyer went. Well, maybe he wasn't explicitly MAGA, but he was anti-vax and all the other.
I mean, I don't want to judge what their new drummer is Mitch, or their touring drummer is Mitch Register now, and he's really good.
Yeah.
If I looked at him, I would assume he's MAGA, but
I mean, apparently people get that from me, as we discovered at our
true.
friend's wedding in California last year. Everyone thought
it's
I was...
the beard, I think.
Do I have a MAGA beard? That's horrible.
I think just beards in general.
I don't think so. I think
you need
I
a mustache.
I need to. Yeah, maybe that's what I need. I need a big mustache, and then that's how I'm going to broadcast.
I mean, everyone who has a mustache is liberal, right?
I think there's a famous reactionary with a famous fascist with a really famous mustache.
Whoops. I mean, a thick mustache.
I mean, it was short and thick.
Okay, next.
But anyway, I'm really excited about this because Fred is a local hero to us in the greater Philadelphia area. He's from Coatesville, which is around where it's the next town over from me. A lot of folks that I grew up with knew him and his family. He's been a staple of the local scene around here for ages, and it has always felt kind of like he had this huge career with Taking Back Sunday, and he still has a huge career. He's still insanely successful, but he kind of came back to the scene in a way where he kind of became I don't want to say one of the rest of us, but he's always been super active in the local scene, super supportive there, and he would do. He would do cool house shows and stuff like that, but it is fun to see him outside of the work with Say Anything. It's really cool to see him getting back on that massive level with Taking Back Sunday, where so much of their discography is written by him. So much of their hits are his songs. I mean, I don't want to say his songs like he owns them, but
he was around during the best. I shouldn't say that they were the best.
I mean, you can say 2 best albums for sure.
They were, and I also thought it was really awesome under their YouTube video. There's 2 quotes from John and Fred says that he needed to essentially learn about himself, and he reconnected with Adam recently just to reconnect and rebuild the friendship, and that's kind of how this came about. So it's really awesome to see, these elder emos are so mature, and John's spending time with his family. Fred has reconnected with Adam. They're rebuilding their friendship. Now we get to see them on tour. I get to see them on tour because I'm seeing them with Coheed and Cambria, like IRL, and it's really awesome to see this happen. And apparently they had Fred come out at that great South Bay Music Festival last week when we were on vacation.
Yeah.
And he played with Say Anything and then came out on stage and played with Taking Back Sunday, and then they announced it the day later on their socials. So it's awesome.
Also, fingers crossed for my boy Chris Swanson, who guitar techs for him with Say Anything Now. I'm hoping this gets parlayed into a gig teching for Taking Back Sunday, because that's a sick gig.
Shout out Chris Swanson.
Yeah.
And then for those who are feeling like this is music sad times, with John, you know, taking that time off, he is...
Sad time. He's done it before. We did this already. In 4 years, they're just gonna get... What's his name? Matt. The guy who was Fred on the New Again album. And then once he's done, they're gonna get John Nolan back. I've seen this cycle before.
Okay,
Give it a decade, John will be back.
We can still be sad. So this isn't goodbye, it's see you later.
It's just John. Crazy that they're doing it in order.
But John will be, hopefully, at the We Were Young festival. Stray Light Run is going to be one of the headliners. So, headliners? I don't know. People performers on stage.
One of the acts.
One of the acts.
There's a lot of phrases.
A lot. I actually am bummed that I'm missing this When We Were Young fest. I told myself, like, for the first one or two, I'd see how it played out. The first one was obviously horrendous. And then...
It turned out horrendous?
Didn't you see it was, like, canceled because of weather or something? Like, people traveled to the...
Oh, yeah.
And the second one seems like it went well, but the lineup, honestly, as we're talking, I just started looking. I haven't really looked at it. Never Shout Never?
Is he okay?
Chris Drew?
Yeah, didn't we, like... I mean, I don't want to... Maybe this needs to get cut.
Cut it.
We saw a lot on the internet about, like, all the issues he was having and, you know, some certainly cancelable behavior.
Oh, no.
Like
I'll look it up.
But yeah, maybe double check that. But I don't know. There's something about When We Were Young Fest, which is like
you don't like festivals.
On one hand, on one hand, it's like, wow, this is so amazing to see, and then part of this is like, I feel like I'm being like boomer-fied in this in a way. You know what I mean? Like it's like it feels like someplace through like a '60s night, you know, event.
I wouldn't go that far because the boomers. Oh, what's that?
I feel like I'm a mark. Whenever they do this, they do this festival. Also, I just can't get over looking at like the setup of this, where like Taking Back Sunday is just kind of a name in there, happens to be there, you know, like in the middle of the flyer.
Yeah, I was like, where are they even? I forgot they were on this. I was focused on Stray Light Run.
And then there's a whole separate conversation about like, I don't know, does Weezer really go in there?
Yeah, that one is odd to me.
Yeah,
and the Offspring too.
I think, yeah, actually, no, you're right. I was going to say the Offspring counts just because punk, but...
But also, at Warped Tour, did I tell you that Young Gravy's going to be there?
Young Gravy's going to be at Warped Tour?
Yeah.
That's fine as long as he's not at We Were Young Fest, because that's just not his... It's not his spot. Oh, they're bringing the movie... Movie Life is doing this. That's great.
Where?
Move down at the bottom.
All right, maybe we cover this. Or... When We Were Young, if you're listening, we could, if you give us free tickets, we'll cover it hard.
You know, when we were young, yeah, they're definitely not selling enough tickets. Between Panic at the Disco and Blink-182. Oh, and Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne, the famous, not a headliner, you know, the famous supporting act, Avril Lavigne. I bet she hasn't been a supporting act in like 20 years. Or maybe ever. I doubt she's ever had to be. She's been that big for a long time. I shouldn't say ever.
That is our girl, though.
She definitely paid her dues.
Mm-hmm.
But
don't get me started.
Yeah, but I'm saying that to see her in a not headlining position, I think is crazy.
Yeah, but the headliners are Panic at the Disco playing If You Cancel It Out in its entirety, and Blink-182 playing Enema of State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, and playing self-titled.
Yeah, I feel like Blink-182, they're doing that like every year at this point because they're doing these massive shows.
They actually are going to be in Maryland in October as well, so.
Panic at the Disco, I want to find out if they're doing it with any of the old lineup, like if they're bringing Ryan and them back, or if it is just like Brendan Urie's just ripping the album again.
Yeah, I hope we should look into that. We should research things
Yeah, we
before
should
we
know
start
this.
talking about them.
Yeah. We spent way too much time on this.
All right,
Anyway,
yeah,
have
just a
fun chopping this
disclaimer.
up.
We were